So in this video, we're going to show you how to set up templates to automate communications between yourself and your customers in Freeagent. These are particularly useful because rather than attaching an invoice, say, that we've raised in Freeagent to your mail client like Outlook or Gmail, and then typing out the body of the text and saying thank you for your business, etc., we can set up a template that will always say these things, and it will go and grab some specific information for that sales invoice and bring it into the body of the text rather than you going to find that. So really useful to set up in the first instance. So to do this, what we do is we go and hover over our username at the top right and click on settings, and then scroll down slightly and click on email templates. And then you're presented with all the templates that are set up for this demo account. So you'll see we've got a new invoice template, an invoice reminder, a thank you for payment, and a new estimate template. So we can go about and edit those as we see fit. In this example, I'm just going to tweak the new invoice template. So we'll work down the fields and explain what each of these mean. So first of all, the from field. So that's where it's going to look as though this email has come from. In actual fact, where it's come from is Freeagent servers, but what they can do is make it appear as though it's actually come from your email address. And that just makes it much more streamlined because they're handling the sending of the invoice to your customer. You're not having to export any files, any PDFs, etc. to your Outlook or your Gmail account or whatever it is that you use. They're just taking control of this altogether for you. So that's where it will appear as it's come from. Then it's going to, so again, because this is a template, it's not having a specific customer's email address in there. What we're telling it to do here is go and find that customer's billing email address or their main contact email address, and that's where we want to send it to. So if, for example, we had an invoice to A Customer Limited, this tag here will actually go and grab A customer's billing email address or go and grab its main contact email address. So very useful. Then moving on to subject, the subject will always appear as invoice, and it won't say reference, it will actually bring in the invoice number into the subject header rather than this specific word. So anything in brackets is basically what Freeagent call email tags, and they don't send those, they actually convert them into specific information. If you're ever stuck for them, they're all down the right hand side here under email tags, many different options, and if, for example, you wanted to know a little bit more about what reference meant in brackets, then just hover over the question mark and it will say this is what it will return. So in this instance, the invoice reference number or the invoice number. Then what we can do on every email, we can attach a file. So what I see a lot of businesses do is actually attach their standard terms and conditions. And it just means that every invoice that goes out or every email that goes out, their standard terms and conditions are there. So there's no confusion, no grey areas about what it is that the business is willing and not willing to do for the agreement of the service, basically. So very useful to do that. And then finally we get down to the content section. So this one by default is a little bit basic, but in this instance it's going to say hi and then bring in the customer's first name. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tweak this ever so slightly. I'm going to leave hi there, but I've prepared some example just to beef it up a little bit to sort of say, actually, hi so-and-so, please find attached your latest invoice referenced XXX, whatever the number is. This invoice amounts to, and it will show the amounts there, so it's very visual in their face. There's no dispute of not being able to see how much the invoice was because it was already written in the email before they even opened the invoice. And is due for payment no later than, and it will bring in the due date. So if we give these guys terms of payment, so it might be 1 day, 15 days, 30, basically Freeagent will add 30 days on if it was 30 to the invoice date, and it will return that date and put it in this inbox, in this email body here to avoid any late payment and interest being applied. And that just beefs it up a little bit. It looks like you've spent the time and you've written this out, and I see a lot of businesses spending a really good amount of time preparing these, putting some really well thought out words in there, not to be too offensive, not to be too harsh on some of the debt chasing ones. And it just means that it's fully automated. So once you're there, all we do then is just click on Save New Invoice Template. And that's it. So that invoice now, or any sales invoices in the future that go out, will have this written in the body of the text of the email that goes out. And that can be done for invoice reminders. We can set up many different instances of reminders, many different ways to say thank you, many different ways to say here's an estimate or a quote or whatever. So, hope that's helped, guys, but if not, feel free to get in touch. Thanks for watching.